Well, good morning, sorry friends, and I do say good morning because it's 1 a.m. Me, the man, is still at it. Been doing a little music tonight. Tried to get a few things, a project that I'm working on with another partner of mine in a new program I'm using called Om Studio. It's a collaboration program, and I got an invite to try to help the person out doing some vocals, and so that's what I just now got finished doing. Just a little bit, just to do something to pass the time away. We want to say we give God all the praise and glory for life, health, and strength for as well as it is. And we thank God for each and every one of you. You know who you are, your side friend. First of all, it says smiling faces and false kisses. That title came to me because of the fact that we see a lot of this here in our churches. We see a lot of it in our society. Whereas people sometimes will smile in your face, but they stab you in your back. And they turn around, the same mouth they use to kiss you with, they use it to curse you out and talk about you behind your back. And we know that the enemy is behind all this cruelty and everything, but we nevertheless, some of us, we allow Satan to use us in this capacity. And we want to say, even Jesus himself, he was betrayed by a friend. And Judas had walked with Jesus 3 years, just like all the rest of the disciples. But nevertheless, Satan entered into him. And because also Judas was a crook, and he got jealous of Jesus. He did not like the homage that certain people were giving Christ, especially when the woman broke the alabaster box over Jesus and anointed Jesus with that expensive cologne and ointment. He became very indignant with Jesus and became, I believe, all the more ready to give him over to his enemies. But nevertheless, that's the same thing that happened to some of us. That's how come I tell you, beware of people when they are jealous of you. Because jealousy will lead to murder people. Believe me, jealousy will lead to people who actually want to murder you. And this is why Jesus said he asked us not to be in that capacity, not to live in that way. But nevertheless, we just got to watch. I say it again, that we got to watch for the smiling faces and the false kisses. Everybody that hug you don't love you. And if you don't believe me, the man knows what he's talking about, I'm going to give you a test tonight. I decided I wanted to just go on and let the cat out the bag tonight. Some of you may already know this. This may not be no surprise to some of you, but some of you, it might be a surprise. But if you want to know what me, the man, is talking about, I dare you to try to hug some people. People that you think that really is all right with you. Hug them and see what they do. Notice their reaction to your hug. Most of them will keep their arms straight down their side. They don't hug you back. So that'll let you know right there that they're not really into that hug. You're the one hugging them. They're not hugging you. And they're letting you know by their body language. I decided I'd throw that out there. It's the same way people do with their mouth. Your mouth say you with me, but your actions speak differently. Your actions speak differently. See, if you were with me, I can tell automatically. And so we just saying, smiling face and false kisses, beware. And me, the man, is saying that whatever we do, like I said, whatever we do, we need to do it for the glory of God. Because most of the time, when you're doing things that certain people will not give you their, how would you say, they're not going to give you their stamp of approval. So don't you worry about that. As long as you know what you are doing and you are doing it for the sake of the kingdom of God, don't worry about their approval. As long as you got God's approval, go ahead right on. It doesn't matter about what people think, no way. But really and truly, you do not need no false people in your corner. It's best that you get them milked out. And God will let you know who's with you. Jesus said, those that are not against us is for us. Those that are not, don't worry about it. That's what he was telling the disciples. When the disciples, they were looking at John's disciples and they were baptized and they wasn't following them. And Jesus said, no, don't worry about that. Said, if they're not against us, they fall. So in other words, leave them alone. You just do what I told you to do. And that's what I always, me, the man, try to go by. My grandmama, God bless her, she's in the nursing home now. But she always used to tell us kids, don't you worry about the other fella. You just do what you're supposed to do. And I try to live by that word to this very day, and I'll be 53 years old in November this year. Matter of fact, I count it as a blessing. Now, I've often said, and I talked to the Lord, and I said, Lord, I want all my 120. In other words, I want all my 120 years. I got a right to them. And like Moses walked to his funeral. So you can be 120 people. You don't have to be sick. You allow sickness. You don't have to be sick. In other words, I found that out in the Word. What Jesus said, if you know the truth will set you free. But I often say the truth that you act upon, it certainly will set you free. But you can know the truth all day long, people, but if you don't never put it into practice, it ain't going to do you no good. So with that said, this is Middleman saying, whatever you get into, remember, if God's not in it, get on out of it, because it's going to come to nothing. And remember, beware of smiling faces and false kisses. This is Middleman saying peace, and until tomorrow night, Bible study, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Blog Talk Radio. This is Middleman saying peace and good night.